Hello everyone, this is Alexey Akimov, and today I will show you how to install Libra package on your computer. Many users have requested some more detailed tutorials on how to install this Libra package on Linux, and that's what we will cover today, installing it on Linux. So here is my local directory on the CCR cluster. CCR is the Center for Computational Research at University of Buffalo. And this is my software directory, where you can already see I have installed one of my other codes, Pixate. But so recently I have made a lot of changes to the Libra code, and that's why I want to reinstall the entire package, from the scratch completely. And that's why it's also a good time for making this tutorial, right? So I'm actually going to install this code for myself, and well, that's what you would be doing if you're interested in using this code as well. So, okay, this is the directory where I want to put the code. So our first step would be, of course, to get the code. Um, Now, okay, so you can get it from the GitHub page, where I deposit all the codes developed in my group. Or if you have problems finding this GitHub page, you can always search for my research group website, and then from there you can click software and tutorials, and then click Libra link. That will bring you to the Libra website, and where you can find a lot of tutorials, documentation, and installation instructions. Well, actually, after this tutorial, probably you won't need much of this. And of course, you'll have this download tab, where you can find this link to the GitHub, or as well SourceForge repositories. But I think the most convenient location is GitHub. So we click this link, or if you start already from here, you just go to Libra code, and then here we are. Now we just need to, transfer the files to our computer. That can be done by the following technique. So if you click this button clone or download, you'll see the URL of the GitHub repository. So you can copy it to the clipboard by clicking this button, after which you can go back to the Linux machine and type git clone and paste this URL. So now we can download the code. It'll take a little bit. So one important change since since older versions of this code is that now we keep all the dependencies of Libra inside. What this means is that, for instance, eigen package, on which Libra depends, or some of its components actually depend. This package is now distributed together with Libra, so you don't need to kind of install it separately. You have it already in this installation, and all the paths, all the variables are already configured to find that package appropriately. So okay, now we have the code, and we can go to this directory. We'll see this CMake list file, and this is what we need to edit first of all. So we go to this CMake lists, and there will be two places which we need to edit. So the place number one, that is the instruction for finding Python library. And you can already see that I have two options for finding this library, depending on whether you are on Linux or on Cygwin machine. The one for Cygwin is a default, because this is where I normally develop the code. So this is actually location of my home kind of Libra development. But since we are now installing it for Linux, we will need to uncomment the first line and then comment the second line, right? The second place where we want to make changes is here for the definitions. So again, the first line is commented by default because this is for Linux. So we uncommented. The second one is uncommented by default because it's for Cygwin. We commented. Okay, now we save this. We also need to edit a second file which is located in this src directory. So if you go to src, again CMake lists, and then enter this edit mode, you will see these two lines, right? Again, I put some sorts of hints. So the by default the line for Cygwin is uncommented. This is what we need to build package if you're using Cygwin, and for Linux is here. So what we are going to do is to comment this line and uncomment this line. Okay, we save it. Now, step number 3, we need to create a directory where all the binary files will go once the code is compiled and built. So we'll call it underscore build. Right, now we go inside of this build directory, which is now empty, and we'll need to create make files. To do this, we'll use CMake, but right now the CMake tool is not loaded. If I'm on CCR cluster, I just need to do this module load CMake. Okay, now I can use this tool, and I'll just do CMake dot slash and then hit enter. So now I can see that this CMake tool is while checking for all the dependencies, all the tools and availability of all scripts and files, and generating necessary make files. So once it's done, which is pretty soon, okay, here we are, you get some additional files, but then what you need to do is just to type make and then hit enter, and then you'll start making this whole library. All these binaries will be compiled and linked, and that it can actually take quite a lot of time, well, maybe up to half an hour or so. So I'll just wait a little bit, and I will continue once this process is finished. Alright, so we have finally built the Libra code, and all binaries are here, and as you can see, well, it took quite a lot of time to complete this. But we are done, and the only thing we need to do right now is just to set up the environmental variables. So what I'm going to do, I'll go to this build directory, and then src, cd src. So this is where you can see where you can find the compiled Libra core module, and this is the directory to which we should direct all these Python path variables. So I'll just get this pwd that gives me the absolute path. I copy it and then I go to my home directory, and in there I'll just edit bash profile. So as you can see, I already have one set of variables, but they refer to older installation. That means I'll just comment this values, and I'll add this new location instead of the old one. So I'll just copy this. So export Python pass is equal to well, my new location, and then Python pass. Yeah, and also we do the same thing for export LD library pass. Oops. Okay, I take the same location and then paste it here, and then also LD library pass. I'll append it here. So now I have, oh, this is my location of Libra, or Fixate. Here's where my Libra will be located. So I save this, and let me, restart. Maybe actually when I'll duplicate a session. Okay, so here's my kind of updated terminal, which should now have all the variables set up, and I can go to my soft and then Libra code directory, and here I'll have this folder called tests. That's where all tests and kind of tutorial examples are located. So I go here just for one purpose, to test whether this new installation works. And so for instance, let's go to this test mass, and then we'll see this test the eigen. That is just one of the examples showing some eigenvalue problem solvers, and for us we'll just try to do Python test c eigen. Okay, so you see, well, it produces all the output, and kind of so it means everything works well. And in later tutorials we will cover more specific topics and examples, some functionality from Libra core module, and also not only from core but from additional Python add-on to Libra. And basically on that we are finished with the installation, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.